Oh, hey guys. Sorry, just rocking here a little bit. This is my pre-show rock out. Getting amped up for the show. Let me turn that down before Ed complains, because this is not approved music here by the Pete and Ed show. So it would have to be something a little more depressing if it was if Ed was. But since we're speaking of depressing music, let's bring. First off, thanks for joining us. This kind of messed me up a little bit, but hey guys, hey Anthony, how you doing in there? I am Peter Brown, and we're gonna have some fun tonight, talking some MLS, talking Inter Miami, and Ed was talking a little bit in the social media that we may talk a little geeky stuff too. So whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to have fun with, we're gonna do that tonight. And of course, I'm not alone, and so let's bring on our favorite Uncle Ed. How you doing, Ed?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for listening to us, and I'm sorry I have to apologize to everybody for that music. Peter has to, what music is that, Peter? Tell us.
Enjoy that, Ed.
Who is that?
That is Dokken.
Oh, dude, I was going to say Dokken, dude. Nice. Wow, what do you guys think? I mean, next time we could start with a little Depeche Mode, New Order, something like that, Peter. I think that would be a little nice introduction.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. This is just one of their little instrumentals that I was listening to while prepping for the show.
Sounds
how you doing, Ed?
Good, man. It's a mad world. We had a show called Mad World, and the Mad World just continues out there.
Yeah,
we're
a lot going on.
To entertain you guys, to take your minds off of things, and talk a little bit of soccer, maybe even some geeky stuff, because Peter and I were, we were actually talking a little bit about it before we started. But tell us, Peter, what actually the subject that you were talking about was about the possibility of MLS starting, right?
Yeah, so we're going to get to that tonight. We're going to talk about MLS getting ready to start. Last week, we talked about the MLS. What were they're calling it? MLS is back. I mean, that's their marketing plan. MLS is back. I'm not picking on it. That's fine. It's simple. MLS is back, and so I called it MLS is back tournament. And now this week, the Players Association came back with their input. So there's a little bit of negotiating back and forth. So we'll talk about that tonight, plus whatever else we just fall into. And, as always, this is your show. So if you want to jump into the chat, please do so. Be active, talk amongst yourselves, and direct the conversation wherever you might like. And we'll do that. But before we do that, Ed, we should talk about our sponsor, Caneswear. Caneswear is open, folks. So they've been open now for a little over a week, maybe closer to 2 weeks now. The store is open. I went to the store, and that is what I am wearing here right now. This is a purchase I made at the store. So it's open. You could see all this wall here that we're showing. It's all there. And I know a lot of people, we've been promoting for you to go to the website, and I know a lot of you are probably like me and would rather actually go to the store than buy something online. Well, you can do that. So go to Davie. They're located in Davie. Drive down to Davie or drive up to Davie, depending on where you're at, and visit the store. Go in, wear your mask. Everybody is social distancing. You're safe. And, it's great. And I could go and I bought myself something. I bought myself this shirt, and then I wish I had my wife here. My wife got a cool shirt as well. So I should have her in here modeling, but she and my daughter went out for ice cream, Ed. So no modeling. You got to look at my ugly mug. But go to Caneswear. And everything is marked down at Caneswear right now. So you don't even need a code or anything like that, because everything is greatly reduced. So good stuff.
All right.
All right, Ed. Why don't you welcome everybody that's in the chat, and let's start talking to some folks.
Well, I got to tell you, our friend Anthony Manzano was in here probably like 30 minutes early, man.
Nice.
I got in there just for giggles, and he was there, and I was like, Anthony, what's up, man? He was the first one in here. Andres Hoyos is also here. Alex Z. Superior 7 is here too. Diego Espin. Of course, Ricky Ricardo, he's on here as well. One World, One Goal. She's always on here. She's talking about the MLS charity with David Guetta. We're going to get to that in a little bit. B King is also here. Score FL is here. Wow, a lot of people. Boriculano, he's also here. Julio Cesar Enriquez is also there. So good seeing you guys. Thanks for joining us today as we talk complete nonsense.
Nonsense.
Peter's going to talk complete nonsense.
I mean, yeah, I can fill a room with nonsense for sure. But there was something here before we even get to it. Just piqued my interest because Score FL had written in here, "Hi guys, I hope to have some good news about soccer coming back." Okay, so I read that wrong. I thought he said he had good news, so that's why it's good to put these up on the screen. So because I misread them all the time. So he's hoping to hear some good news. Well, we'll have some news about that for sure. But yeah, lots of thanks everybody for joining us. Chris Arjun is in as well. Hey, Pete and Ed. So yeah, so Ed, why don't we start off with the real meat and potatoes, and then we'll get into some nonsense.
Sounds good.
Unless, of course, we go off on tangents, which we tend to do.
Which will probably happen.
So like I mentioned in the opening that the MLS last week, and we talked about this a little bit last week, where MLS wants to, the story was leaked by The Athletic, and actually MLS is pretty pissed about that. There was a story that Don Garber has hired like an investigation firm to look into find out who the leak is. I mean, Ed, they ain't messing around. They want to know who leaked the information about the Orlando tournament to The Athletic, because The Athletic got like an internal document, and that's how they had so much detail about the tournament. And Commissioner Garber's not too happy about that.
There's a huge leak in there, man. So that's going to be there's some investigating to do. They're going to get down to the nitty gritty.
I mean, and they said in this story that Garber will fire that person, and it sounds like, okay, that's odd. How can Garber fire somebody that, say, maybe works in Kansas City? I'm not going to pick on Miami. So maybe works in Orlando, right? How can Garber do that? But because it's a single entity corporate structure, he is everybody's boss.
Yeah.
So
somebody's going down.
Other than the owners, clearly. But
unless it was one of the owners, then he's going to be in the pickle.
Yeah, right. And if there's an owner that's trying to shoot themselves in the foot. But yeah, it's always possible. But that was interesting that he was pretty pissed off about and hiring an investigation firm. But anyways, they want to play this tournament in Orlando. They're gonna stay in one of the Orlando hotels, and be locked in up there. And so some of the players were not happy about that. Anyways, that was last week. If you missed that Sunday show, go back and listen to that where we went into more detail about that. But now the Players Association have come back, and I don't know if they made theirs public or if there's just more leaks, but they have now counter-offered. And so now we're in that negotiations time where, the counter-offer is happening.
Yeah.
And I just lost my notes, Ed. I just lost my notes. Where did I?
Well, look at that. Well, there was I did hear that. It came out. I don't know if it was The Athletic, but I saw it on Twitter because I get all my information from Twitter.
Okay.
That's where I saw that the association went back with a counteroffer.
Yeah.
You're talking about. So that's
okay. So I found I'm hitting key. I got to hit key commands the entire time to change cameras and stuff, but I was in a different program and I hit the key command and then it did something to that program.
So on and so forth.
Tech problems. But anyways, so the plan originally was for MLS to travel to Orlando the beginning of June, right? So like within days, right? That was the plan. Or the end of the end of the first week of June, something like that. But the Players Association says no, we want to stay in our home markets longer. MLS so far has agreed where now the local teams can go into playing the small sided training, so that they're going to be able to do the I don't know.
Oh, so that was approved because I think I saw that a couple days ago.
That was approved. That teams can do that. Now, of course, each team has to send in what their plan is to the league to get it approved. But the league has said the teams can now start doing that. Originally, they were not going to do that until they were in Orlando. But now that they can you put the Anthony Monsanto, Pete? Can you put the number on the screen when you have a chance? Oh, Anthony. We haven't gotten any calls in a while. I didn't even plug in the phone. So we'll do that next week. I didn't even because Anthony, you haven't been calling. So I didn't even I don't even have it plugged into the mixing board. So,
look at that.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, Peter's, going a little off on a tangent. Peter's been like really busy this week.
Yeah.
So we have to apologize, guys, that we weren't able to do any shows this week. And that's, Peter was busy because, he's hunting for rabbits. And I had a flood to go through. I was going to interview Luis Omar Tapia from Univision on Tuesday, and I wasn't able to do that because that's when we had that huge flood. I wasn't able to get home till like 2 a.m, man. So that was crazy. And but this week we are going to have that show on Tuesday. We're going to talk with Luis Omar. He agreed to come on this Tuesday that's coming up. So and Peter is saying that he's going to do a video on Thursday, but we're going to have to.
I'm not guaranteeing it. I am not guaranteeing anything on Thursday until I get this house done. So for the next month, it's an iffy situation.
Well,
so
I'll for sure do the thing on Tuesday unless it gets flooded, or Ricky Ricardo could do it by himself.
Right.
But we'll figure it out. He was going to do it by himself, but then we figured he wasn't ready for it. So I had most of the questions.
So did you actually physically get stuck in the flood?
No, I didn't get stuck.
Your truck, your work truck?
Work, yeah. And my whole work was flooded.
Oh, okay.
All the parking lot and everything, to get out, it was like a lake.
Wow.
That we had to go through. So I didn't want to risk it, and I sent a message to Luis Omar.
Sure.
I had to send him some pictures too, so in case he didn't believe me, but he believed me because he said it was crazy all over the city. So
you got your big galoshes on, or you got your floaty, so you can get out to your car.
I could have water skied or something if I would have,
But you got to have someone pulling you then in that case. So you get your canoe, get a little floaty canoe or something, go out to.
Down, man, because that thing was crazy. Tuesday was nuts, and I'm in the Doral area, so this place always floods.
It does it? Okay, all right. Well,
but we went off on a tangent, and you were talking about the possibility of football in Orlando.
So
do this, man.
So again, the Players Association has countered, and let's read through some of what. So the plan is now. This is what the Players Association wants to do. Now it's up to MLS to counter. So now we're in negotiations, but they got to do this quick. So MLS is hoping to kind of finalize this upcoming week. But MLS Players Association wants to keep the players at home as long as possible because that's one of the concerns that players have, like Carlos Vela, who's got a pregnant wife. They don't want to be trapped in Orlando for like 10 weeks or anything like that. And so, and that's what it originally was going to be, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 weeks. So now they want to go there on June 24th, train for 2 weeks. And then the interesting thing is they're going to have, again, this is the players' proposition. This is their negotiating going on. Instead of playing a 5-game knockout group stage, they only want to play a 3-game knockout group stage. So Ed, I mean that's less games right there that they're talking about playing. So the idea behind that is that the players, if a team goes all the way to this little championship, to the end of this tournament, they will have only been away from home for 6 weeks.
Okay.
That's not so bad because, think about it. Some of these teams in the past, at least, used to go on like European preseason trips and stuff like that. And they'd be gone for weeks at a time. So 6 weeks isn't too bad for a player to be away from his family. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. But I guess how would they play? They'd have, was there a schedule or something? How many games every team would play?
So they haven't come out with a schedule, but there was talk that there would be only morning games, like games starting as early as somewhere around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, right? On a weekday. Who's going to watch? Well, I guess a lot of us could now, if those of us that are working from home. But anyways, have it at least in the background. But so playing in the morning and in the evening and skipping the entire afternoon because Orlando's pretty darn hot at this time of year.
Well, I don't know about the morning ones, man. I mean, I could probably do it because I work mostly afternoons, but, either way, I'm going to watch the game, man. I'm going to put it somewhere,
Yeah, no, you find a way to watch these games, but they want to reduce it down to 3 games instead of 5-game tournament, and then you go into the knockout rounds. And then the other thing is the players want to, if a team gets knocked out, they want to be able to send that team home. So then there's less out of market, but keep this in mind too. Some of the concerns that the players have are especially the Canadian teams. So Canada is being pretty strict about this whole virus thing and not allowing people back into the country. Wow. If one of the Canada teams plays in this tournament and then they can't go home for at least maybe 2 weeks or so, I don't know. I mean, there are certain businesses that have been grandfathered in that they can travel, but so far professional sports is not one of those. That causes another wrinkle for those 3 Canadian teams.
Wow, sounds like a dilemma. But only 3 games, Peter. I mean, don't you think that's nothing?
Yeah, well, it's 3 games if you lose, right? So if you don't make it out of the group stage, it's 3 games and you go home.
Oh, so basically Orlando's out already.
Oh, they're not. Yeah,
they basically
got a short
one game. It's over.
But they don't have far. They don't have far to go home. They just go drive down the road. You know, they're gonna. Yeah. The interesting thing is that even though those players in Orlando, I guess because this whole thing is about quarantining the players on a Disney property in Coronado Springs. So even though the Orlando players live in Orlando, I didn't think about this before, but they're going to have to be quarantined just like everybody else. They're going to have to be away from their families just like everybody else. So those guys that live in Orlando, it might be no different than if they had traveled to Utah like the women's soccer league is doing.
Right. Oh, the women's soccer team is going. Soccer teams.
The women's soccer league has approved their plan, and I don't have all the details on the plan. I forget what date they're coming back, but they have a tournament and they're playing it all in Utah, and they're all on board. You know, they're looking at it kind of like an Olympic Village where they're all kind of quarantining them. So yeah, the women's professional league, they're going to be doing a tournament in Utah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. That's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, 3 games, man. 3 games is, if we're unlucky, we only get 3 games for the whole season.
Well, think about it. Think about it. Think about like what One World, One Goal said. It's like the World Cup: 3 and you're out. If 3 and out if you're bad. It's no different than the World Cup. You train for 4 years, Ed. 4 years, and you play 3 games and you win home. USA, for example, we're used to that.
Yeah, well, and lately we haven't even gone to the World Cup.
Well, the last one we didn't make it, but I mean, before that we made some.
Basically, went to almost all of them since 1950.
Right, exactly. So, but a lot of them were 3 and done.
Right.
So it's no different. But interesting thing. So let me see. Let me look at my notes. There was a lot to digest. So the other part of this was that the league wants the players to take a pay cut. They're wanting the players to take a 10% pay cut. The MLS Players Association have countered that with a 7.5% pay cut, which equals somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 million. So that's $100 million that back to the league, good for the owners. But of course, they want 10%. So that's that sounds fair. I mean, MLS Players Association didn't come back and say, oh no, 5%. And then we end up at 7.5. So they already went to that 7.5. Maybe they, negotiate it closer to 10. I don't know. 7.5 sounds okay. I was reading somewhere, and I only read a headline where I think in England players have agreed to some sort of pay cut as well, but I don't recall the details because I only read a headline. I just kind of quickly passed through it.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
So what do you think? You think the players should accept a 7.5% pay cut? The league should accept it? I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's fair?
We're only going to be playing 3 games, Peter. We're in total 2. Most teams play 2 games. So 5 games in this season, and you still get paid almost everything?
Right.
I mean...
Sounds fair, right?
Sounds fair.
Now, we don't know if at the end of this tournament they may be able to just continue back with the league. So the talk is, that these points will count for the league. So there's potentially, this is just like a way to get some points for the grand total of the entire season. So they play this mini tournament, and then if things get better in each individual market, they may be able to continue some more a shortened season. So there isn't a ton of detail about that, but that was talked about, that these points would count towards the season. But I imagine whoever wins this tournament is going to get a trophy. I don't know if that's the MLS Cup trophy, if they decide to cancel the entire season and only do this tournament, but they do keep talking about these points counting towards the rest of the tournament. So that means, to me, then you would not be the MLS Cup champion, you'd be some other tournament champion.
Right. The Orlando's, the Mickey Mouse Cup or something.
You get the Mickey Cup.
There you go. Big old ears on the trophy.
Hey, look, Ed, I know you're not a Disney guy, but if you go to Disney, right, and they got these ridiculous sippers. I don't know if you see, I wish I had one. I have one. I have one of these.
Those sippers for kids?
Kids, please. More adults buy this stuff than kids, man, because they're not cheap. But yeah, I've got a Orange Bird one. But anyways, they have a bunch of these ridiculous sippers that people walk around carrying their soda in. It might be in the shape of Mickey. It might be in the shape of Woody's boot, or something ridiculous like that. They've got one that's in the Steamboat Willie boat, and people are walking around carrying this boat, sipping on it. So now you can have an MLS Cup Mickey Mouse trophy sipper.
Wow.
How about that? It's in Disney. Let's make it a sipper cup.
Put beer in it. It might work out.
There you go, because they're grown men now. So now we can get away from the soda and like what I had in my little Orange Bird was some sort of orange drink of some sort. Let's go straight to the beer.
Well, sounds good.
Heineken is a league sponsor, so let's get a Mickey Mouse Heineken sipper cup trophy.
Yeah, but I'm only thinking about the possibility of those being the only 3 games that we're going to see for the rest of the season, and that makes me sad.
And I'm sad that you took me away from my sipper cup conversation. I was having fun with a sipper cup conversation, and then I was getting excited about a sipper cup. You just don't go to Disney, so you don't care. But a sipper cup was cool. So imagine the sipper cup trophy. They hold up this thing and they take a sip from it. Come on, it looks stupid. It'll be funny.
It would be kind of funny.
All right, so go ahead. You like depressing music? Go ahead and go back to being depressed about there only being 3 games.
Well, yeah, it is kind of sad for me because I want to see as many games as possible. Of course, I want to see them live, but that's not going to be a possibility. It seems we might not get to see that this year. So, yeah, man, that's tough for me.
All right, Ed, you're no fun. We're supposed to bring light and
oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Let's joy to people, not bring them down.
Well, so let's move away from that topic then.
No. Yeah, this topic's got legs.
Okay.
Chris Arjun is asking, let's pop it in here. Does this potential competition in Orlando mean we will see no games played at Lockhart now until next year? Who knows? Now, so the tournament takes 6 weeks. They start it in July. So, by September, early September, everybody's back home. Could we be in a better position with the virus that now everybody's open to business and maybe we go to just empty stadiums for a week or two, or do you do a lot of places are doing less capacity. Restaurants are 25% capacity or stuff like that. Do you do that to the stadium? Do you tell season ticket holders you could pick, like, let's say there's 5 games, you could pick 2 out of the 5 to go to so that they could split up, and then obviously refund people back something. I don't know.
Oh, I know a lot of people that I think they want the refund because, these are troubled times and people need some of that money back. But I'm one of those people that haven't. So if there's games, I want to be there.
Yeah, no kidding. But if they open the stadium back up, say in September to fans, but then they say everybody's got to wear a mask and it's going to be at a smaller capacity, just like every other business is doing. How do they go about and enforcing the smaller capacity when they sold like 19? No, what did I forgot the number? How many thousand season tickets did they sell?
I'm not sure. It was more than 10,000, I think.
I thought it was a lot more. I thought it was closer to capacity of the stadium. Not 19,000 or anything like that, but 16, 17,000. I don't know. I remember seeing a figure somewhere on the internet, but who knows? Who knows if it was accurate? But nothing official out of the team. They don't talk about that stuff. But let's say just for the heck of it, let's say they sold 10,000 season tickets. But you're only going to that's around 50%, right? Because the stadium holds 19,000, so we're close to 50%. But now you say you want to reduce it down to 25%, so you're saying half of those people now can't go to the games. How do you tell people that bought season tickets that you can't go to a game, or that you can pick 50% of the games that are being played? And obviously that money that is not being used, those games that you're not going to, will then have to be refunded or credit to you in some way. But how do they go about enforcing that?
16,000.
16,000. Okay, I thought the number was somewhere in that neighborhood. But so that's an interesting problem. So let's say they do get back to having games at a smaller capacity. How do you enforce that?
That's tough. That's going to be tough to enforce.
No ideas, Ed? I thought you were the idea guy here.
No, right now I'm just, I'm focused on I need to be there. I need to be the one in the stadium. So, I'm gonna
every
be that
game,
guy
regardless,
pushing everybody away. Out of my way, I'm going in.
I'm part of the 25% every time.
Yeah, I have to be, Peter, for because we've been fighting for this team forever, and we haven't seen a home game yet. I was lucky to see the game in LA, but
yeah,
I want to see my home game in my stadium.
Yeah,
and we've almost been doing this for 20 years, Peter. Fighting for a team, and look what happened to us. It's like the soccer gods are against us.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, anyways, more on this. Again, I told you this thing has a lot of information. They're also talking about capping the bonuses for 1 year. So no bonuses for a year. That's around a $5 million savings to the league. And here's one that the league wants. There's a revenue share program for that they have in the contracts with the new CBA. And the league wants to postpone that for a year. The Players Association says hell no, and so and keep in mind this tournament doesn't happen if the CBA does not get ratified. The CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, was agreed upon, right? But it was never ratified because before it could get ratified, we went into pandemic mode. So now they're saying this tournament doesn't even happen if it doesn't get ratified. So, there's a lot going on here. So it still may not happen. I mean, they're really pushing and they're really trying. And there was an article I read that was talking to one of the players, and I don't remember who it was, but the player was saying, that a lot of questions were thrown at Don Garber that Don Garber didn't have an answer for, player safety type of stuff. They didn't have all the answers that the players want to feel safe in this tournament. And some of the questions actually aren't even only about safety. Some of the questions are about how professional will this broadcast look? Because the players are concerned that, hey, this is my reputation that's going on the line. It's not just the league, it's the players. So, a lot of these players are playing for, hopes to get noticed and playing in Europe and stuff like that. And so if they're afraid that this tournament might look like a youth tournament, because heck, a lot of youth tournaments happen at this facility in Orlando. So it's a familiar ground to a lot of these players because a lot of these players grew up going to the Disney Cup or the Dallas Cup. So this is going to have a very familiar feel. The only difference is mom's not taking them to the game in the minivan. So they don't have that, but it's still a very familiar feel. And so they're afraid that this production that MLS puts on for TV doesn't look professional. Like the Bundesliga games, at least it looks professional because it's in a real stadium.
Yeah. Peter, one thing that came to mind is that this would still make Major League Soccer the first live sport, other than NASCAR, I guess you could say, that's going to be on TV.
Well, it may not if the NWSL gets on first. I don't remember the dates for the NWSL tournament, but that's going to be on TV as well. It's going to be on CBS All Access. They got a deal as well, so they could beat us to it.
Oh wow, okay. Well, then we'll be the second.
Yeah. The women are beating us to everything, right? They win the World Cups.
They do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So why not? Let them have it. Their league is still young and is still, going through the growing pains and all that. Let them have that. Let them have the spotlight for a couple of weeks if that's the case. I don't remember the dates. That's the only thing. So I can't. Don't quote me on any of that. But I do know that they have an agreement to play in Utah. But there's just the players. Are concerned. Question: should they pipe in fan sounds into these games?
I saw the German league with that, and I was just like, wait a second. There's nobody in the stadium. And I was like, yeah, it's trying too hard, I think.
From what I read, it went over well in Germany. People liked it, though.
Oh, wow. Well, those are the Germans for you.
Yeah.
From the people that I've spoke with over here in the States,
right.
We were kind of like, yeah, this is...
So, but that's, do they do that in... That would be weird, right? So you're watching the Disney game, because at least the ones in Germany are in a giant stadium, right? So you could kind of at least... They don't show the empty seats all that often, right? So you're showing mostly the field, but now you're talking about at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, which has a small amount of stands, but it clearly does not look like a stadium. It looks like a nice youth field, right? Yeah. So it's a nice youth field. It is nice, but it is not a stadium. So now you're piping in crowd. You're piping in the Southern Legion or the Siege or Vice City and this youth thing, and you don't see it. It might be a little campy.
Yeah, especially if you hear the chants in the background and there's nobody there.
Right.
Dale, 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 Rosa, and you're like, where are they singing from?
Sing it, Ed. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Dale, Rosado.
All right. Well, anyways, so there's a lot to discuss about that. There's a lot I'm curious if there's any more thoughts in here that we might have missed.
I think they like the Mouse Cup.
Yeah.
Andres,
a sipper
Andres
cup.
Bias is putting that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mouse Cup. So that might work, Peter.
I like it. Why not do it? Why not? It's in Disney. There's think about this too, that this tournament is Disney might really be doing partially doing this with ESPN because it looks good for their future agreements, right? We're bending over backwards to give you business, ESPN and Disney, and you're helping us. It's a both ways, right? And it shows we're a
you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Right, and it shows that we're a true partner. So remember that when we're going into the next media rights negotiations, which are coming up soon. So
give me money.
Yeah, we're going to expect some payback, MLS is saying.
Give me some money. So does that mean that, since you're saying that, it's only 3 games, how are they going to split with Univision? How are they going to split with local channels? That's impossible. It's not going to happen anymore.
Well, that is one of the things that they have to work out, and that was mentioned in one of the articles I read as well. No, they have to. They have to give them some games. They have to. So, you got to figure that out. Does ESPN get the morning game? Does Univision get? Well, what you could technically you could put all the games on Univision, just Spanish only, right? And say ESPN, you can't do any Spanish. You're only doing English, so that they could cover both games, right? They could double broadcast, just like it happens in the World Cup, right? So then with the other partner being Fox, maybe you say ESPN, let's flip it. Fox, you get the morning games because you're the least of the partners, and ESPN, you get the more primetime evening games to show. I don't know. And again, you keep saying it's only 3 games. It's only 3 games if you are 3 and done. It's
and if you're Orlando, it's only going to
be right. You're only seeing purple 3 times at least, but then it's going to go on to the knockout rounds, which will go on a little bit further. It's a World Cup, so
So that's going to be interesting. But at least we're going to get some soccer. I'm pretty confident our team, if they, practice right, they'll be able to, go further. I'm looking 4 or 5 games at least from them.
Yeah, we would sure hope, but it goes back to what everybody's always asking, like, where the heck is our other 2 players? That's the one thing this virus did, is it put a real halt on us signing some new players. I guess we were waiting for the summer transfer window anyway, so maybe it didn't affect it. I don't know.
It probably, if they're not going to come back and play anymore, they might just hold on and wait for next season. That's
Yeah,
one
it's
of the things that
possible.
Ricky Ricardo was telling me on the Spanish show. He was like, I don't think they're going to go for those two players that they still have to, they might not go for a DP. Does it really make sense to spend a lot of money on a player that they're not going to get to, that's not going to get to play that much?
Well, that was the conversation about bringing somebody in the summer. They're only going to be playing for, say, around 10 games. But now you might not even play that. So your point is well taken in that you may only be playing in this Mickey Mouse tournament, and that's it. Why pay somebody?
Right.
Yeah, good point. All right.
I like that Mickey Mouse tournament, the Mouse Cup.
Mouse Cup.
Kind of funny.
Everybody can wear some. Disney likes the merchandise, right? So it's like you get these the ears, right? So you go the Mickey Mouse ears, right, for each team. I'm down with wearing some pink and black Mickey Mouse ears. I mean, usually the girls wear them, but I'll sport some.
Yeah, if they make them, with Inter Miami in one ear.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the Disney. You go to the parks, all the girls are wearing the Mickey Mouse ears, and they're all themed to different things. They're different colors, they're different whatever, they're different everything, but they're all themed. It doesn't say Disney anywhere necessarily on it. It's just of Disney products, right? So it's it looks like a Cinderella thing, or it's colors, or what have you. So now just do like some team branded Mickey Mouse ears. You don't have to put Disney on it because it's in the shape of Disney stuff, right? It's in Mickey Mouse ear shape. But now you put black and pink on there. You smack this logo right here, or wherever it is here. You smack this logo on there, and you're good to go. Now you're selling more merchandise, and it's unique to this specific tournament. I'm telling you, they got to hire me.
They should. You know what you're talking about, Peter. You're gonna make them a lot of money.
I don't know if I know, but I know that I know I go to Disney a lot. And people buy those Mickey Mouse ears all the time. And they're like $30 a pop. They ain't cheap, right? And my daughter's got a few of them. Every girl's walking around with them.
Some too.
I have above me, actually. Actually, but these were bought for the family, and they're called Glow with the Show, Ed.
That's what you say, for the family.
Because they light up. They light up when they do the fireworks and stuff. They light up to the colors of the fireworks. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I'll go with you on that one.
The thing is, we bought them and only used them once because they're heavy as hell, because they got a battery in them, because they got to light up. But it's interesting because it's got a chip in it, Ed, and Disney gets control of it. So
look, Jason's he's agreeing with me. He's like, please no Inter Miami Mouse ears. Jason,
no, we need them. Every team in the league.
Well, look, One World, One Goal says Adidas mouse ears would be kind of cool.
Yeah, you can smack the Adidas logo on there as well. Get all the partners involved. 3 stripes on the. That's exactly One World, One Goal. 3 stripes on the ears.
Well, guys, if you have any questions, please put it on the. I see already Anthony Manzano's putting a whole bunch of questions. We're going to try to get to them right now. But if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and put it on the chat right now, because since Peter forgot to turn on the phone, we can't do any messages.
Nobody's been calling, so that's just one less wire I have to take care of. So I just didn't because nobody's been using it for like over a month.
Well, we haven't really promoted it because it's been slow. There's no soccer, but we're
don't blame it on us. Blame it on everybody else, Ed. It's not it's not our fault. It's everybody else's.
Come on, guys, get with it, man. You guys gotta. Well, we're gonna start putting that phone out there so you guys can leave messages. Then, how's that?
All right, Ed. Hey, Ed. So since we're home all the time, I've had to fill some time, right? So I've been very busy with this house hunting stuff and all that, or wabbit hunting and all that. But speaking of wabbits, Ed, there's a new streaming service out, and HBO Max. So I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. HBO Max is out. I wasn't really interested in it, but I'll take a free week. So they have a promotion where they give you a free week, and of course are hoping that you forget to turn it off. But I'll tell you, I become the king of the free week. I put a reminder on the calendar. I'm doing Sling for a week for free, or CBS All Access gave me a month, and then when I disconnected, they said, "Hey, don't go. We'll give you another month." So I got 2 months out of that. Never used it though, but because there wasn't anything good other than Star Trek. Once I watched Star Trek, I was done with it. Right?
Yeah, I would have been done the same way. But I think you could watch reruns on it.
Yeah, but you go the old series are on Netflix. So what's the point?
Gotcha.
Why? Anyways, so I got this HBO Max, Ed, and I there's tons of Looney Tunes. I'm watching. They got new Looney Tunes cartoons.
Talk about loonies. You're pretty loony yourself, so that's perfect for you.
I know. Well, you said you said I was hunting for wabbits earlier, and so I was actually watching Bugs hunt for some wabbits on. But they're new cartoons.
You mean Elmer Fudd hunting for wabbits?
Yeah, but I mean he's hunting for Bugs Bunny. He's the wabbit.
Yeah, that's the wabbit. But Peter, since you're talking about HBO Max, while you're kind of on the subject, they're gonna have the Snyder Cut, man. Justice League. Everybody's been like going crazy.
Well, I thought that didn't exist because everybody was saying the Warner Brothers was saying it doesn't exist, but apparently it does.
Yeah, because apparently from what I was watching, because I'm nerdy like that, and I love comic books. They were saying that I think only 25% of the movie is actual stuff that that Zack Snyder recorded. So the other director, I forgot his name right now, Josh Whedon, I think, right?
Yeah, it was Josh Whedon.
He basically did 75% of a different movie,
reshoots and all that.
Right. So his movie is totally different than the one that Zack Snyder was going to do.
But who's to say? Okay, well, here's the thing too that I read is that Warner Brothers has had to go in and spend an additional $20 or $30 million to complete those Snyder shots because a lot of the shots didn't have special effects necessarily done on them. So they're going above. This is a weird precedence because they're taking the guy left. But there was, for some family reasons, but there was rumors that he was really fired, right? And so they just let him say he left for family reasons for good publicity. So they got rid of him. He's gone, whatever. They bring in another director. They reshoot the 75% of the film. And now they're going to go back to that original director that was kind of kicked out or left voluntarily, whichever it is.
Well, back to the family thing, his daughter committed suicide.
Oh, I know it was legit family problem, but there was like some underlying before he decided to leave. There was the Warner Brothers was not happy with him.
Yeah, they were having him change a whole bunch.
So there was rumors that they kind of may have gone to him, hey, this is a good time to go be with your family and all that kind of stuff. Let's get you out, basically. Well, anyways, whatever really happened, but
and it backfired because that movie sucked.
I like that movie.
Well, it could have been better.
It could have been better, but I do like it. I bought it. I have it, but Warner Brothers going back and spending $20-30 million to complete something that they didn't want to begin with, but the fans have made so much noise that they had no choice.
I want to watch it. You want to watch it?
I do. Even though it's interesting that they gave him the Justice League movie when the Superman Batman movie didn't do that well, and I have problems with that one. Yeah. But then they turn around and they still gave him another one because he did the first Superman movie, pretty good, not the best, but okay. And then they gave him the Superman Batman movie that's kind of like eh. And my biggest issue with that is both of them are like fighting, and then all of a sudden he goes, Martha, why'd you say Martha? All of a sudden we realize our mom's names are Martha. We're best friends.
Yeah, I didn't know their mom. Well, it didn't ring a bell until they both mentioned it.
I watched that part and I was like, oh, that just screwed up the whole movie for me. This is ridiculous. Oh, we hate each other until we realize that we share Martha.
Yeah, my mom's name is Martha too. Maybe we're brothers.
Whatever. Well, anyways, yeah. So
that would have been a twist right there.
So the
brothers.
Yeah, from another planets and all that. But the Snyder Cut will be interesting, and that's a good. It's definitely a good gimmick for their new streaming platform.
Right. That's probably what they thought. They're going to make money off of it anyway. So even if it sucks, they still made some money on the other movie as well. So
the other movie made a bunch of money. It made a bunch of money. It didn't make as much as Marvel movies, but it made a bunch of money.
Right.
So. Anyways, I'm looking forward to that. I got maybe they'll still have that 1 week free, and when it comes out, people can join for 1 week free and not give them any money and still get to see it. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to, because usually the way these things work is you get the 1 week free and then you can't get it again. So if I'll have to pay for it for like a month just so I can watch the Snyder Cut, which I might do. But there's tons of cool stuff on there, man. Ed, I'm watching like all these Batman cartoons, The Killing Joke, Oh,
Yeah.
you know what I saw that was depressing? You'll like this. You like depressing stuff.
Sure.
Did you see the movie The Joker?
Yeah, yeah. I did with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the theaters. Because that's not exactly a movie my daughter should go see or wants
Yeah,
to see,
maybe
for that
not,
matter.
right?
So that was a good movie. It's on the HBO Max thing. That was a pretty depressing but good movie. So right up your alley.
It was a really good movie. I did like that movie. It was well done, and I was like, dude, how could they make the Joker? You know, they've made it so many movies with the Joker in it that you're like, how could they make it any better? So I was skeptical, but you know, once people started reviewing and seeing that it was good, I was like, wait a second, maybe I'm gonna go check it out. And sure enough, that was a good Joker. Good Joker movie.
All right, Ed. Nobody's biting on our nerd talk. We may only be interested. The only two interested in it, other than Boriculano saying Phoenix was born in Puerto Rico. So that's
Because he's Puerto Rican.
he's Puerto Rico, and so he cares about that, you know. And Pizarro likes the Joker stuff. You know, he does that whole thing.
So see, everything's intertwined, guys. There's a reason why we're doing this.
Didn't even know we were talking soccer.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, that's close. They almost caught us.
All right.
But talk about Pizarro. He did another one of those E-friendly games, Peter Brown. And
how'd he do?
Dude,
Ed?
he won again. This time he beat another Mexican, Pulido. He plays for Kansas City, I believe, and gave him. I think it was like they played a couple. I think 2 games, and ended up 7-1.
7-1.
Destroyed him, man.
Wow.
Destroyed. So yeah, I think Pizarro is unbeatable in FIFA, man.
Nice.
We need to get like the supporters to do a championship, and the winner to go against the team's champion, because he did beat everybody else in the little tournament that they had. If I remember, a month ago, I think it was.
I didn't watch it. I did see the promotions. I saw it all over. You know, I got an email about it and all that kind of stuff. So, but I didn't watch it.
Oh man, I'm telling you, Peter. Well, you've been busy with the house and everything. I've just been chilling at home, so you know, I watched it, and it was pretty entertaining. It was fun, you know. But I think Pizarro is unstoppable in FIFA.
So I think we lost during our talk. I think we lost some people. 1-1 goal is saying, I'm still trying to figure out that Martha talk. I missed that part. I was typing.
Well, there are questions. Look, Anthony Manzano. No, we're not ignoring you, Anthony. We've just went off on tangents, and you've put up like 100 questions. So
Anthony doesn't put up easy questions either.
Yeah, you don't, man. You give us like all these incredibly hard, elaborate questions. But Peter, pick one. I'm gonna
pick this one, Ed. I'm gonna put it up on the screen, and you can address it, Ed, because he's asking you. In your opinion, who would be bigger and have the same effect as David Beckham did when he came to MLS? Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Wow, either one would be huge. I think Cristiano's maybe a little bit more controversial,
and the ladies would like him.
And the ladies would like him.
So there's that similarity with Beckham. You know, the ladies like Beckham, the ladies like Messi, Ronaldo.
So I'm kind of leaning towards Cristiano. I think he would get. Plus, he speaks English.
Yeah.
You know, the girls like him. You know, the guys don't like him sometimes because they think he's arrogant. He's always going to give something to talk about.
For marketing,
a little bit. Yeah, for marketing, he's going to be a lot better. I think, Cristiano Ronaldo would probably be the bigger one. Though Messi, you know, he's a hell of a player, but he's just more, you know, he's quiet. He's not the person. He doesn't have the personality that Ronaldo has, and I think Ronaldo will eat this league up, not just on the field, but on cameras. I think he'll be like a mini Ibra. I think he'd be like a mini Zlatan.
All right. Well, just going though. So we're talking marketing and all that kind of stuff. Just thinking about just on the field. If you're just talking about playing, who would you prefer?
Yeah, I think
still Ronaldo.
I think still Ronaldo.
Okay.
I think he's just better. The thing is, Ronaldo's played in every team, in many different teams, many different leagues, and he's always been good. While Messi's only played in Spain. That's it.
All right. Yeah.
And when he plays with Argentina, Argentina sucks. So nothing happens there. I don't think he's even going to go back to. I don't know if he already retired from the national team, but I'm sure he's thinking about it because nothing ever happens. He doesn't carry the team like, for example, Maradona did in his day. That guy basically, he was the team. He took, they had great players too, though. But he carried that team. He was the soul of that team. While Messi isn't like that. He's an all-around probably better player than Ronaldo, but I just think marketing-wise, I think he'll adapt to this league a lot better and a lot quicker. I'm not saying that Messi won't run circles around people. He probably will. But I just think Ronaldo could play as a forward. He could play as a number 10, as a attacking midfielder. I just think he'd adapt quicker.
I agree. You make a good point about him playing in more leagues, so he knows how to kind of adapt to new surroundings maybe a little bit better. Because it's more than just the play on the field. It's living in a new area, uprooting your family, or what have you. Buying a new house, all that kind of stuff is part of it. And he's done it several times. He's moved to different leagues and he's assimilated well every single time. So. Yeah, it's a good point. And also, I'm always about the marketing, and as much as I am about the play on the field and marketing wise, he checks all the boxes. So yeah, sign him. Let's make it happen, Ed. Go take care of that.
So you're about Ronaldo, right?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. So there you go, Anthony. We got one of your questions. We're not ignoring you, buddy.
No, we just here's the thing. It's like I got my camera up here. So, and the chat down here. So it's like, if I want to look at the camera, I can't look at the chat. And so, multitasking. It's not, and then, so, yeah. But then there, here's one that, where did it go? Kevin here, Kevin Ostring is saying that he's ready for soccer. I don't care if it's MLS, USL, League One, USL Championship, or NISA. He doesn't give a damn. He just wants some soccer. I'm with you. I'm with you, Kevin.
Man. Yeah, we're with you, man.
I don't watch a lot of the women's professional league, but I will be all over that if that's the first thing that comes out.
Yeah.
I'll watch every game.
Everybody's watching the German league now, man. So,
and nobody cared about well, I can't say that. A lot of people care about the German league, but people that didn't care about the German league are watching the German league because it's
caring a lot more now.
Right. So it's the biggest league, because I think there are some other leagues around the world that are playing. I thought I saw
Costa Rica, I think, is playing,
and I thought I saw some games from Russia. I don't know if the Russian league is playing, but it was on ESPN3, and there was a Russian game.
The Korean league, I think, is playing.
Okay, well, there was a Russian game, and I don't know, but I couldn't watch more than a couple seconds of it because the announcer was so horrible. I mean, he had this thick Russian accent, and he just was bad. I was like, stick to Russian, dude. And I couldn't watch it. But I don't know if it was like their lower division. I have no idea. But I watched like a few seconds of it, and I'm like, next.
Yeah, you can take it.
I couldn't stick with it.
That's nuts, man.
All right.
Another thing that happened, Peter, while you're looking at, if you want to look at more questions from the chat room, we had that thing yesterday with David Guetta. He said his name was Guetta. I thought it was Guetta or something. David,
whatever. If it wasn't for his charitable efforts with MLS, I would have never even heard of the guy.
Really? Wow. He's pretty big. He's a big deal for a lot of people that are into that music, all the dance music and stuff. So he did a concert on one of the skyscrapers in New York City. It was a beautiful view. I don't know if you got to see it. Anything? You didn't see nothing of it?
Nope.
There you go. Well, anyways, so he did that. It was really cool, and they had one of the sponsors was MLS. I think Heineken was another one of the sponsors. All sorts of sponsors. I think they made like $400,000, but Major League Soccer said they were gonna equal every dollar, and so did Heineken and a couple other charities. So I think they went way over $1 million on that, and so it was great because I got to see a whole bunch of supporters that were in the fan. They did a Zoom room or whatever for that. And I got to see some people from Vice City, got to see some people from Southern Legion. I didn't see anybody from the Siege for some reason. But yeah, you got to see people, you know, all over that. They were all over it, and it was great. And I saw Inter Miami a whole bunch of times. He even mentioned, "I see you, Miami." So I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's awesome." So he mentioned Miami.
All right, that's good.
Didn't mention anybody else. I saw some Nashville guys on there. All sorts of teams from all over Major League Soccer were on there. So that was a cool thing.
Cool. Hey, Footballer has a comment in here. It's a little truncated, but Peter, with the pandemic and how this has affected many football leagues, don't you think it could be the beginning of a formation of a super league in Europe? Well, I mean, they kind of already do the Champions League, so it's kind of a super league, right?
But if the thing is, if they ever decide to do a super league, which are probably the biggest teams
right.
from every country,
right?
They're going to kill their local national leagues. So if I were
too much money, they won't allow that to happen, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. No, because every country's the great winner is going to be, the big teams: Barcelona,
right.
Real Madrid.
The rich just keep getting richer.
Arsenal, all these, all the big teams, from all these different leagues, they're going to be in that championship every year. And all the rest of the teams are just going to end up disappearing because everybody's going to want to watch just the big teams.
But to Footballer's point, with the pandemic, some of these smaller teams may already be in trouble of going under as it is. This really could hurt some of these smaller teams to begin with. So, if they're not going to survive anyways, I don't know.
That might be the start. Well, he's got a point there.
Yeah,
and
it's interesting. Interesting thought,
Unfortunate as it is, but you might have a point.
All right, Ed. I think at that point we say goodnight. I think it was a lot of fun tonight. We covered a lot of different fun stuff, some nonsense, some geeky stuff. Thank you for participating or letting us just kind of rant on some geeky stuff that Ed and I like. Hopefully you enjoy that as well. Ed, Tuesday night, you guys are going to do the Spanish show. Remind us who you're talking to.
If there's no flooding, Peter Brown,
there won't be flooding 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that would be too much. Tuesday at 9:15. We do it at 9:15 so I can get here on time. We're gonna have Luis Omar Tapia. He's one of the Spanish the guys that do the Spanish play-by-play on Univision. We're gonna be doing that in Spanish. Stick around after we talk to him because we'll talk a little bit about what we've been talking today with Peter. Except we'll just do it in Spanish with Ricky Ricardo.
See.
And if we're lucky, Peter Brown will have something on Thursday.
If there's some news, and if I'm not busy with, buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll do it. But if he tells me on time, I might be able to squeeze something out. Well, we'll see. Hopefully he'll get to do it because when he does videos, people like him better. So,
Oh, shucks, Ed.
Think about it, Peter. Last time, I think I only had 150 people watch mine, and you had like 500. They like you, man. They like you.
They like me. Thank you, everybody.
They like you.
Well, that's good. I mean, we appreciate every viewer and everybody that spends their time with us, especially those of you that decide to spend some time with us on your Sunday evening. We really, really appreciate all of you guys that are in the chat that are hanging out with us. Make sure you like this video, give it that whole thumbs up thing, so we can get higher in the rankings or whatever, more people notice and all that kind of stuff.
You got some mentions right there, Peter Brown, right before you leave too. Judge Dredd finally joined us. Too bad it was at the very end.
Well, you can watch the replay. So, yeah. But
look, Julio Cesar is messing with you, man. He's like, if that concert with David Guetta would have been in Disney, you would have watched it.
I don't know. Maybe if he's in front of the castle, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never seen a concert at Disney. I know they have them. I've never been to one though. They do it, but I've never been to it. So, anyways, but thanks so much. Here's the comment of the show, Ed. Footballer Peter is the man. So on that note, we should end the show.
All right. Let him have his glory. All right, guys.
Thank you, footballer. Thank you, everybody else, for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you Tuesday and then some more next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye, guys.